Hello there, welcome to video 3 of 3 for Haslab Omega Prime. Today we're going to be looking at the combination as well as Omega Prime himself. Alright, getting into the actual combination, you will want Optimus in his basic form here without all of his armor, and obviously just Ultra Magnus. We will be starting with Optimus, getting him ready for the combination, and then we'll disassemble Magnus here into his parts and then suit up Optimus. Getting into Optimus here, you will want to be doing the same thing that you did for him in his armored up mode. So you'll just extend the waist here, tab this, bring these sections in underneath here, and then again, do the very scary process of squishing this into that tab right there. Like so. Just bring down these, slide Optimus's head back, open this compartment, and close this. And then you'll take these and extend them outward at the shoulders. Then for the arms, you will want to bring down these flaps. And then just like the other combination, just bring in his heels. And outside of that, you are prepped and ready. Now I'm getting into Ultra Magnus here. First step, of course, is just ripping him in half at the waist. Starting off with the legs, of course, to split them. You will want to bring this back to its middle section here. Fold this down, fold this up. Now you'll want to take this kneecap, bring it up. Then you will want to unpeg all of this over here. You want to take this, flip it upwards, bend this in half like this. Now you want to come back here and just untab this blue section like that. And you want to pop this out and plug it into here. But I would recommend pushing it from the back over here with a tool of some kind. There you go. And then that will just plug in right there. And then you just bring this up, line it up with this port with that tab. Bring all this back in. Take this foot, slide it out on the rail, and then just fold it down and plug it in. Bring this up. And there you go. You have a boot ready to go. And then just do that on both sides. For clarification, you do want this pointed backwards and then plugged in here. So you want these flaps facing backwards. Now you come to Ultra Magnus here. First step is going to be getting these arms off, and I would recommend you just pretty much pull at all the sides here and they will kind of just fillet open. Do it again. There you go. Set those aside. Now with this, you will want to take this, untab it from the chest down here, and just kind of lift this up for now. Take the chest here, also untab this. Just bring the head around like this for now, and then just leave it. Now you're going to come here and unpeg the backpack, and then you're going to rotate this around like so, where the wings clear the sides here. The jetpack is upside down. And then you're going to bring in the head here and it will bend at this hinge for clearance so that it rests in there, and then you just take the head and it will kind of just hide inside of the backpack like that. You're going to want to take the arms, untab them and bring them down. Kind of just get them out of the way for now. Now getting into this whole area, get these chrome bits, untab them from here and here. And then you're going to want to take this bit here, tab that, and bring it down, and it will take this little tab right here and it'll plug in right here into a slot in the chrome. And you can just get it with your finger through the other side, like so. Now that you've moved all this out of the way, you will have clearance to just bring these up. Rotate that around, and interestingly, these aren't even held on by anything. They're just 5mm U-ports, so even if you don't have the clearance at one step, you can just shimmy these off. But yeah, you just bring those up. Then you just take these red sections and you just flip them up, and flip these little bits out from underneath. Like this, like that. And then here you will essentially just need to take this chest from in here and fold it inwards. Bring this down, and then here you can just lean this back. That will give you clearance to take this and pull the head out, and that will lean back, and these will just rest in these little slots here. And then this whole chest section is on a double hinge here, which you want to just accordion upwards, but don't tab it in yet. And then for the ears, you can just bring them up, and there you go. You pretty much have them prepped. These arms back here will fold away more in a more proper way once you plug them in. Now getting into the combination with Optimus, you want to take this, hook it in here, and then have this plug in back here, while also having this post go into here. I would recommend at least taking this part of the gray bit off, just so that you have one less post to worry about. Now this, of course, will just plug in right there, and then you will slot in the rear one. And now that that is in, you bring in the gray one, and then that port will just plug into this port, like so. And then this gray piece will, of course, just plug into the port on the front, and this will secure it in. And there you go. There you have your Omega boots. Now, here you will have the arms. You want to just find the correct arms here. And, of course, like the show and the original toy, you can plug in Ultra Magnus's thumb into his hand as if he's giving him a handshake. Now, the orientation for robot mode, you will want to rotate this around to where the wheels are facing outwards. But then you can just have this with the two 5mm ports go into these posts. And then the rest of it just kind of folds right over. Like that. Just do that on the other side, and you're good to go. Now getting into the upper half here, you will have to essentially slide it over here, and then that will just slide right over onto Optimus here, like so. And then, of course, just like on the other armor, there are two tabs that will slot into the holes on the chest. And now you can bring in this chest down and accordion it fully back by also plugging it into here while pushing it back down this way. And then coming to the back here. The backpack here will just plug in right there. And then you can bring this flap up, bring the Magnus arms over here, and you can just rotate those around to where they face outwards, and then just bring this flap back down, and there you go. There you have Omega Prime. Now, seeing this for the first time was just amazing. I've never gotten to see the original in person, and being able to see this just, oh, it's so good. I'm so happy with this. I mean, this is just, all of the sacrifices for Optimus proportionally make complete sense here. And it's just, oh, it's such a presence to see in person with the chrome and all that. Now, getting in closer on him, you can see he is just lovely looking. He has all that lovely chrome as the chest now. That nice chrome gold Autobot symbol there, as well as the chrome blue and silver. Just looks amazing. He has the nice, very light Allspark blue here on the abs, broken up by the white. And then, of course, silver painted on the crotch. And then just tons of sculpt work here. Just lovely looking. That head sculpt is amazing too. It's a very nice revision that like calls back to the armored Optimus while still feeling unique. Then, of course, gold ears on him. Those are also separate out of the box. You will have to attach those. The eyes are a chrome dark blue. I do wish that they used a lighter chrome blue for the eyes. The dark blue works very well for his chest, but I think the dark blue chrome on his eyes does get a little lost, unfortunately. But yeah, just lovely sculpting detail here. You also got this cool gunmetal painted right here. A nice pipe detailing there. There is a bit of a gap here, which is unfortunate that they couldn't include a bit of a flap here. And then of course you have the arm detailing here with the nice Autobot symbol, very visible now. Based off pictures, the original has a bit of a muddy Autobot logo that's not too visible there. All this is just white plastic here, but it's very well detailed. And lots of 5mm ports as well. Even this side has a bit of a hollowed out section here, but they still keep it interesting with the nice mechanical detailing there. And even from on the back of the arm, there's some very nice mechanical detailing that's very well sculpted. Hands here are just broken up by plastic. Look very nice. It does have a bit of a backpack there, but the wings give him a lot of presence. The legs here, same as Optimus, of course, all the way down here. But here you got Ultra Magnus's sections now visible, as well as the new feet that were once the heels from Ultra Magnus. Then you got the folded up panels here. And then even some little detailing back here. It's just amazing seeing two robots slammed together like this in such a uniform way. This doesn't feel like two figures combined at all. It is so solid and just somehow uniform looking while having clashing color schemes. It's amazing. Now getting into articulation for Omega Prime here. He does have a ball jointed neck, so you can just twist it all over the place, can do 360s with it. He can look up this far, he can look down about this far, but there is an extra joint in here on this flap here that the neck is attached to, which allows him to look down a bit further. And the head is also on a slider, interestingly enough. It really doesn't help. I'm not sure why it's on a slider, because this is the orientation you want it in for combined form, and that's the same orientation you leave it in for truck mode, so I'm not really sure why it can slide back. The arms, of course, carry over from Optimus, so you have the ratchets all the way out. You can move forward with this panel moving out of the way. Back to here, before you start clashing with the chest, you can pretty much get it up about that far. And this does move slightly back and forth. If you really want to, you can technically just take this off of its port, so you can get a nicer range on the arms here. That is an option. And then of course just the usual 90-degree bend at the elbow, as well as the swivel above the elbow. The hands, however, are different from the other two. They will swivel, of course. The thumb is independent on its own hinge, and the fingers have two joints this time, so that you can spread them out more like this, or bundle them up into a fist, which I am glad that at least Omega Prime can do a fist much better than the Optimus hands. I still would have liked to see a different style of hands. Personally, I would have liked articulated hands. I never really expected Hasbro to do it, but personally I hope that someone makes some articulated hands for this, because I would happily have them on this guy. Now, he does have a little tiny bit of a waist rotation. Obviously it is just absolutely blocked by all of this stuff around the waist. He does have access to the ab crunch still, so you can give him a little bit of an ab crunch. This crotch flap can move out of the way if you need. Same range on those hips. Same range on those hips as the normal Optimus. Same with the knees. Oh, it's an almost 90. You do have the swivel up here as well as below the knee. And then at the feet, you have a ankle rocker to there. And it does rock out this way as well. And you can technically bend this down. Not really helpful, but you can do it. Overall, pretty good articulation for how massive and heavy this guy is. Wasn't expecting him to be too insanely articulated. Now getting into accessories for this guy, you do have, of course, blue bolts that you can bring in. Blue bolts will just use these two ports on each side to plug in right here, and you can just plug her in right there, and there you go. You have weaponized Omega Prime there. And as if that wasn't enough armory for him, he does come with an absurdly massive sword. This is amazing. It is a 2-foot long sword that is just, I mean, it's larger than Omega here. It's insane. Now, the handle does come apart, is made out of 3 sections, and they all just port in right here, and they all do have a pin going through them to avoid the handle bending or snapping, which is nice. But yeah, if you want a shorter handle, for example, you can just take segments off and shorten it. And this is cast in 2 different plastic colors of black as well as a purple plastic. It's a very nice shade. And they did paint the inside here with silver on this on the black section, and you do have some Cybertronian lettering right here on both sides. And there are 5mm ports on the sword if you want to slap anything onto it. This has little rivet slots along here that are meant for Omega Prime's hands. There are those 3 slots right there, and those will just go in to any of these 3 slots along any of these handles. You'll want to fit them right in like this. It doesn't really hold, but you just want to wrap the fingers around like this, and there you go. There you have Omega Prime holding his absurdly huge sword. Now, I will say, my biggest problem with this sword is the fact that it really doesn't hold all that well. It's fine like this when it's touching the floor, but the tabs do not hold the sword at all. The fingers and the wrists are mostly okay for holding this, but the tabs themselves, you can see, just give out instantly. If the hand at all lets go, this thing is just gone. It is very annoying. I wish that they had like a rail or like a proper solid tab to plug into this. That is by far my biggest complaint with this accessory, because it makes it annoying to use this, even though I absolutely want to display it with it. And as you can see, he can absolutely dual wield this thing. The joints should mostly hold it. This arm is getting a little bit loose. That was one of my concerns that I personally asked the designer Evan on. He said that it would hold it fine for most of the poses. It is getting a bit loose and it is struggling to hold this. I really wish those were ratchets. I don't know, hopefully DNA Design maybe makes an upgrade for that. And for the last accessory, you can of course get him onto the stand that they include. Dead solid, you will not have to worry about it. And this is by far the best way to display him with the sword. Alright, getting into comparisons here. Your average Generations Voyager, bringing in average sized MP Optimus. Might as well still just consider this masterpiece scale. Leader class Dinobot. Heavily beaten up Scourge. Poor guy is struggling to stand in the glory of this thing. Here is a large Commander. I did sort of bring in this comparison to kind of discuss the thing that some people mentioned where they thought that this set could be done as 2 commanders. I think that technically they maybe could have, but I do not think they could have been done this well at all, and they definitely would have been smaller. The main issue would have been selling Ultra Magnus, because Optimus, that's an easy sell. They can easily sell him at something like this, and it'd be a little less refined, I imagine probably with less paint apps, but it could be done. Ultra Magnus, however, this design of Ultra Magnus definitely would sell a lot worse on his own, and that is most likely why they didn't want to do it as a commander, especially off of the back of already doing an Ultra Magnus that was a commander. And then Blue Bolts wouldn't have existed, really. You definitely wouldn't have as much like paint, or you wouldn't have this glorious chrome that adds a ton to this, and you definitely would not have gotten this. I mean, just look at the size of this. This would not be included with a commander. Now, there was the subject of a secret mode with this guy. They openly in streams advertised that they engineered a secret mode where you could store all of the leftover parts from Prime on this guy, and annoyingly they decided to leave that out of the instructions, calling it a secret mode that they would reveal in a stream once this guy came out or right before. Unfortunately, as you can see, this guy released, no video ever happened. at least when I'm recording this. But it's very annoying that they didn't put it in the instructions for the sake of a video that they never released. But you can look online. People have come up with plenty of combinations for this guy. This guy's got 5mm ports all over the place. So you can come up with some pretty creative stuff with this. I will just show you one of the possibilities. I have no clue if this is the correct one or not. It is just one of the combinations you can do. And that is my interpretation of the secret mode. This thing looks even more ridiculous, but I love it. It is just so weird and wacky. Adds a ton of red to the color scheme. I mean, I kind of wanted to just leave it displayed like this. Overall, this set has been absolutely amazing. I love this so much. This was absolutely worth backing and paying the initial price tag of this. This was just amazing. I love it. Just the sheer size and presence of this thing is just astounding. This was very much worth it, even with the problems. The unfortunate problem, of course, with Optimus's abdomen cracking. Absolutely hate to see it, considering just how amazing this is. I'm glad that mine was super easy to fix so that I could have an amazing time with this guy. It just really sucks to see that people are getting like bad copies or cracked ones. I really hope that they come out with replacements for those people, because this is just such a good set that people need a good version of this. Now, obviously I can't recommend to just go buy it out right now because the backing was a year ago from when I'm recording this. You can get it secondhand from other people who have backed it. If you are willing to pay whatever they are asking for, I would highly recommend it. This was such a blast of a set that it made me want to do reviews. Now, after this set, I definitely want to take a look at some smaller figures, hopefully. I can also look at some third-party figures. But yeah, this set is just amazing. I absolutely love it. It was a blast to do. Thank you for watching this 3-part series and this review. Please feel free to subscribe, comment, like, all that lovely stuff. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, where I'll post pictures of figures on there often before I review them. And then I will, of course, announce reviews on there as well. Thank you for watching this, and have a good day.